There are many questions. The first, is self-actualization a basic need of man? First, try to understand what is meant by self-actualization. H. Maslow has used this term self-actualization. Man is born as a potentiality. He is not really actual, just potential. Man is born as a possibility, not as an actuality. He may become something. He may attain actualization of his potentialities. He may not attain. The opportunity may be used, may not be used. And nature is not forcing you to become actual. You are free. You can choose to become actual. You can choose not to do anything about it. Man is born as a seed. So no man is born as fulfilled, just with a possibility of fulfillment. If that is the case, and that is the case, then self-actualization becomes the basic need. Because unless you are fulfilled, unless you are what you can be, or what you are meant to be, unless your destiny is fulfilled, unless you attain to actuality, unless your seed becomes a fulfilled tree, you will feel you are missing something. And everyone is feeling. Everyone is feeling that he is missing something. That feeling of missing is really because of this, that you are not yet actual. It is not really that you are missing riches, or position, prestige, power. Even if you get whatsoever you demand, riches, power, prestige, anything, you will feel this constant missing within you. Because this missing is not related with anything outward. It is related with your inner growth. Unless you become fulfilled, unless you come to a realization, a flowering, unless you come to an inner perfection and you feel now, this is what I was meant to be, this missing will be felt. And you cannot destroy this feeling of missing something by anything else. So self-actualization means a person who has become what he was to become. But he was born as a seed, and now he has flowered. He has come to the complete growth, inner growth, to the end inside. The moment you feel that all your potentialities have become actual, you will feel the peak of life, of love, of existence itself. Abraham Maslow, who has used this term self-actualization, has also coined another term, peak experience. When one attains to oneself, he reaches a peak of bliss. Then there is no hankering after anything. He is totally content with himself. Now nothing is lacking, no desire, no demand, no movement. Whatsoever he is totally content with himself. Self-actualization becomes peak experience, and only a self-actualized person can attain peak experiences. Then whatsoever he touches, whatsoever he is doing or not doing, even just existence for him is a peak experience. Just to be is blissful. No, bliss is not concerned with anything outside. It is just a byproduct of the inner growth. A Buddha is a self-actualized person. That's why we picture Buddha, Mahavir and others. We have made sculptures, pictures, depictions of them sitting on a fully ballooned lotus. That fully ballooned lotus is the peak of flowering inside. Inside they have flowered and become fully bloomed. That inner flowering gives a radiance, a constantly showering of bliss from them. Even all those who come in their shadow, all those who come near them, they feel a silent milieu around them. It is reported. It is a myth, but myths are beautiful and they say much which cannot be said otherwise. It is reported when Mahavir will move, then around him in the area of 12 kosas, that is 24 miles, all flowers will bloom. Even if it was not the season for the flowers, they will bloom. This is simply a poetic expression. But even if you were not really self-actualized, if you will come in contact with Mahavir, his own flowering will become infectious, and you will feel an inner flowering in yourself also. Even if it is not a ripe season for you, you are not ready, but you will reflect. You will feel an echo. Mahavir will be near you, and you will feel an echo within you. And you will have a glimpse of what you can be. Self-actualization is the basic need. And when I say basic, I mean that if all your needs are fulfilled, all except self-realization, self-actualization, you will feel unfulfilled. On the contrary, if self-actualization happens and nothing is fulfilled, yet you will feel a deep total fulfillment. That's why Buddha is a beggar, but yet an emperor. Buddha came to Kasi when he became enlightened. The king of Kasi came to see him, and he asked, he said, I don't see anything with you, you are just a beggar. But yet, I myself feel a beggar in comparison to you. You don't have anything. But the way you walk, the way you look, the way you laugh, it seems that the whole world is your kingdom. And you have nothing visibly, nothing. So where is your secret of power? You look like an emperor. Really, no emperor looked like that. As if the whole world belongs to you. You are the king. But where is your power, the source? So Buddha says, it is in me. My power, my source of power. Whatsoever you feel around me is really within me. I don't have anything except myself. But it is enough. I am fulfilled. Now I don't desire anything. I have become desireless. Really, a self-actualized person will become desireless. Remember this. Ordinarily we say that if you become desireless, you will know thyself. The contrary is more true. If you know thyself, you will become desireless. And the emphasis of Tantra is not on being desireless, but on becoming self-actualized. Then desirelessness follows. Because desire means you are not fulfilled within. You miss something. You hanker after it. You go on from one desire to another in search of fulfillment. That search never ends, because one desire creates another desire. Really, one desire creates 10 desires. In search of a desireless state of bliss, if you go through desires, you will never reach. But if you try something else, methods of self-actualization, methods of realizing your inner potentialities, making them actual, the more actual you become, the less and less desires will be felt. Because really they were felt only because you were empty within. When you are not empty within, desiring ceases. What to do about self-actualization? Two things have to be understood. One, self-actualization doesn't mean that if you become a great painter or a great musician or a great poet, you will be self-actualized. Of course, a part of you will be actualized, and even that gives much contentment. If you have a potentiality of being a musician. And if you fulfill it, and you become a musician, a part of you will be fulfilled, but not the total. The remaining humanity within you will remain unfulfilled. You will be lopsided. One part will have grown and the remaining will have remained just like a hanging stone in your neck. So look at a poet. When he is in his poetic mood, he looks like a Buddha. He forgets himself completely. The ordinary man in the poet as if is no more there. So when a poet in his mood, he has a peak, a partial peak. And sometimes poets have glimpses which are only possible with enlightened, Buddha-like minds. A poet can speak like Buddha. For example, Khalil Gibran, he speaks like a Buddha. He is not a Buddha. He is a poet, a great poet. So if you see Khalil Gibran through his poetry, he looks like Buddha, Christ, or Krishna. But if you go and meet the man Khalil Gibran, he is just ordinary. He talks about love so beautifully. Even a Buddha may not talk so beautifully. But Buddha knows love with his total being. Khalil Gibran knows love in his poetic flights. When he is on his poetic flight, he has glimpses of love, beautiful. He expresses them. Rare insights. But if you go and see the real Khalil Gibran, the man, you will feel a disparity. The poet and the man are far away. The poet seems something which happens to this man sometimes. But this man is not the poet. That's why poets feel that when they are creating poetry, someone else is creating, they are not creating. They feel as if they have become instruments of some other energy, some other force. They are no more. This feeling comes because really their totality is... Sometimes you jump and for a moment you are not on the earth. You have deceived the gravitation, but the next moment you are on the earth again. If one's poet is fulfilled, he will have glimpses, partial glimpses. One's musician is fulfilled, he will have partial glimpses. It is said of Beethoven, then that when he will be on the stage directing, altogether different. Goethe has said that when Beethoven will be on stage directing his group, he looked like, said that he is an ordinary, he was not man. The way he looked was all superhuman. From this seemed to be else in him. And from this, these poets, musicians, great artists, because they have beings. It lives on one. Great artists in on this earth, the land of the Buddha. Then again, their personality is great artist. In a certain way, the rift, the gap between these two types of existences is so great, unbridgeably great. Sometimes he is just an ordinary man. Sometimes he becomes Buddha-like. Between these 2 points he is divided. But he has glimpses. When I say self-actualization, I don't mean that you become a great poet or you become a great musician. I mean you become a total man. I don't say a great man, because a great man is always partial. A great politician. In anything, greatness is always partial. In one direction, one moves and moves and moves, and in all other dimensions, all other directions, one remains the same, lopsided. When I say become a total man, I don't mean become a great man. I mean create a balance, be centered. Be fulfilled as a man, not as a musician, not as a poet, not as an artist. Fulfilled as a man. What does this mean? Fulfilled as a man. A great poet is a great poet because of great poetry. A great musician is great because of great music. A great man is a great man because of certain things he has done. A great hero. A great man is partial. In any direction, greatness is partial, fragmentary. That's why great men have to face more anguish than ordinary man. What is total man? What is mean by being a whole man, total man? It is me. First thing, be centered. Don't exist decentralized. Don't exist without center. This moment you are something, the next moment something else. People come to me and I ask them generally that where do you feel your center? In the heart, in the mind, in the navel, where? At the sex center, where? Where do you feel your center? Generally, they say sometimes we feel in the head, sometimes in the heart. Sometimes we don't feel at all. So I tell them to close eyes before me and feel it just now. This is the majority. In majority cases this happens. They say, even just now, for a moment we feel that we are centered in the head. But the next moment we are not there, as if we are in the heart. And the next moment the center has slipped. It is somewhere at the sex center or somewhere else. Really, you are not centered. You are momentarily centered. Each moment has its own center. So you go on shifting. When mind is functioning, you feel that head is the center. When you are in love, you feel it is the heart. When you are not doing anything particularly, you are confused. Where the center is, you cannot find it out. Because you can find it out only when you are working, doing something, then a particular part of the body becomes the center, but you are not centered. If you are not doing anything, you cannot find where is your center of being. A total man is centered. Whatsoever he is doing, he remains in the center. If his mind is functioning, he is thinking. Thinking goes on in the head, but he remains centered in the navel. That center is never missed. He uses head, but he never moves to the head. He uses heart, but he never moves to the heart. All these things become instruments, and he remains centered. Secondly, he is balanced. Of course, when one is centered, one is balanced. His life is a deep balance. He is never one-sided. He is never on any extreme. He remains in the middle. Buddha has called this the middle path. He remains always in the middle. A man who is not centered, he will always move to the extreme. If he will eat much. He will overeat. Or he can fast. But right eating is impossible for him. Fast is easy. Overeating is easy. He can be in the world, committed, involved, or he can renounce the world. But he can never be balanced. He can never remain in the middle. Because if you are not centered, you don't know what middle means. A person who is centered is always in the middle, never at any extreme. In everything, Buddha says, his eating is right eating. It is neither overeating nor fasting. His labor is right labor. Never too much, never too little. Whatsoever he is always balanced. First thing, a self-actualized person will be centered. Second thing, balanced. Thirdly, if these two things happen, centering, balance, many things will follow. Thirdly, he will be always at ease. Whatsoever the situation, the at easeness will not be lost. I say whatsoever the situation, unconditionally, the at easeness will not be lost, because one who is at the center is always at ease. Even if death comes, he will be at ease. He will receive death as one receives any other guest. If misery comes, he will receive. Whatsoever happens, it cannot dislodge him from his center. That at easeness is also a byproduct of being centered. For such a man, nothing is trivial, nothing is great. everything becomes sacred, beautiful, holy. Everything. Whatsoever he is doing, whatsoever it is of ultimate concern, as if of ultimate concern. Nothing is trivial. He will say this is trivial. This is great. Really, things are not great. Neither they are small and trivial. The touch of the man is significant. A self-actualized person, a balance-centered person, changes everything. The very touch makes it great. Observe a Buddha. He walks. And he loved walking. If you go to Bodh Gaya, where he attained on the bank of Niranjana, enlightenment, the place where he was sitting under the Bodhi tree, they have marked the place with his steps. He will meditate for 1 hour, then he will walk around. In Buddhist terminology it is called Chankraman. He will sit under the Bodhi tree, then he will walk. But he will walk with the same attitude as if in meditation. Somebody asked Buddha, why you do this? Sometimes you sit with closed eyes, meditate, and then you walk. Buddha said, sitting to be silent is easy. So I walk, but I carry the same silence within. I sit, inside I am the same silent. I walk, inside I am the same silent. That inner quality, he meets an emperor, he meets a beggar, but Buddha is the same, the inner quality. Meeting a beggar, he is not different. Meeting an emperor, he is not different. He is the same. The beggar is not nobody, and the emperor is not somebody. And really, while meeting a Buddha, emperors have felt beggars, and beggars have felt emperors. The touch, the man, the quality, that remains. He was alive every day in the morning. He will say to his disciples, if you have to ask anything, ask. The day he was dying, in the morning, the same. He called his disciples and he said, now, if you want to ask anything, you can ask. And remember that this is the last morning. Before this day ends, I will be no more. He was the same. That was his daily questioning in the morning. He was the same, the day was the last, but he was the same. Just as any day, he would have inquired. He said, okay, if you have to ask anything, you can ask. But this is the last day. There was no change of tone, but the disciples began to weep. They forgot to ask anything. Buddha said, why are you weeping? If another day you would have wept, it was okay. But this is the last day. I will be no more by the evening. So don't waste time in weeping. Another day it was okay. You could have wasted time. Don't waste your time in weeping. Why are you weeping? Ask if you have to ask anything. He was the same in life and death. So thirdly, the man is at ease. Life and death are same. Bliss or misery are same. Nothing disturbs, nothing dislocates him from his home, from his centeredness. To such a man, you cannot add anything. You cannot take out anything of him. You cannot add anything into him. He is fulfilled. His each breath is a fulfilled breath, silent, blissful. He has attained to existence, to being. Man as total, he has flowers. This is not a partial flowering. Buddha is not a great poet. Of course, whatsoever he says is poetry. He is not a poet at all. But even if he moves, walks, it is poetry. He is not a painter. But whenever he says, whatsoever he says becomes a painting. He is not a musician, but his very being is music par excellence. The man as totality has attained. So now whatsoever he is doing or not doing, when he is sitting in silence, not doing anything, even in silence, his presence works, creates. It becomes creative. Tantra is concerned not with any partial growth. It is concerned with you as a total being. So three things: basic, centered, rooted, balanced, always in the middle. Of course, without any effort. If there is effort, then you are not balanced. At ease in universe, at home in existence. And then many things follow. This is a basic need, because really, unless this need is fulfilled, you are man only in name. You are man as possibility. You are not actually man. You can be. You have the potentiality, but the potentiality has to be made actual. Second question: kindly explain contemplation, concentration and meditation.